All right, so Tesla's latest quarterly report just dropped, and at first glance, it looks pretty rough. I mean, the numbers are down across the board. But if you look a little closer, you'll see Tesla is spinning a very different story. They're saying this isn't just about car sales anymore. It's about a massive pivot that could change everything for them. And that's exactly why this quarter is so important to understand. So, let's get into it.
So, this really is the big question, isn't it? What are we actually looking at here? Is this a car company that's starting to stumble? Or are we seeing the birth of something completely new? An AI company in disguise? How you see these latest numbers really truly depends on which of those two stories you believe.
Okay, so before we get into all that future talk about AI and robots, we gotta face the music. We have to look at the numbers right now. And let's be honest, Q2 was a challenge. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and look at the three big numbers that everyone's talking about.
First up, total revenue. It's down 12% compared to this time last year. And that's a big deal. That's the total amount of money coming into the company. So right off the bat, less cash is coming in the door.
But it gets worse. You see, when revenue drops, it really hits your profits. Operating income, which is basically the profit they make from their core business operations, took a massive nosedive. We're talking a 42% drop. That tells you the pressure on their profitability is getting really intense. And then there's this one, the real gut punch. Free cash flow. It fell off a cliff, down 89%. Now, free cash flow is super important. It's like the company's take-home pay after all the bills and investments are paid. For it to drop that much in a year, wow, that is a huge red flag for the company's financial health this quarter.
So why the huge drop? What's behind these numbers? Well, it all starts with the thing we all know Tesla for, selling cars. That's been their foundation forever, right? But that foundation is definitely starting to show some cracks.
And here's the main culprit. Take a look at this. Vehicle deliveries dropped 13% from last year. It's pretty simple, right? When you sell fewer cars, you make less money. And that drop is what's directly causing those ugly financial numbers we just walked through. And of course, when you're not delivering as many cars, what happens? They start to pile up. Their inventory of unsold cars is growing. In fact, what they call days of supply, which is just a fancy way of saying how long it would take to sell all the cars they currently have, shot up by 33%. Bottom line, they're building them faster than people are buying them right now.
Okay, so car sales are down, inventory is up. You'd think the panic button would be getting pushed, right? You'd expect them to go all in on selling more cars. But that's not what they're doing. And this is where the story takes a really interesting turn. Instead of freaking out, Tesla is basically telling everyone to look over here. They're saying, this isn't a slump, it's a pivot.
And they're not being subtle about it. This quote from their own report is everything. They call this quarter a seminal point, the beginning of their transition into a leader in AI and robotics. I mean, listen to that language. What they're really saying is, hey everyone, stop thinking of us as just a car company. That's the old Tesla.
And to prove it's not just talk, they're pointing to some pretty big milestones they hit just this quarter. Look at this. They launched their very first Robotaxi service in Austin. They had a vehicle make the world's first autonomous delivery to a customer. They beefed up their AI computer power by a ton. And they even launched the app you'd use to call a Robotaxi. So these aren't just ideas. They're taking actual concrete steps.
And what's fueling this whole AI engine? Data. Tons and tons of data. Their full self-driving system is now out there on the streets all over the globe. We're talking chaotic streets in Paris, busy harbors in Sydney, and every single mile driven in these crazy, complex places is like sending a lesson back to their AI. It's how they get smarter, faster.
So, okay, let's zoom out for a second. How does all this AI stuff actually work as a business? Well, this vision of a robotaxi future doesn't just happen on its own. It's actually being propped up by other parts of Tesla's business that kind of quietly are turning into absolute beasts.
You have to think of it less like a collection of separate products and more like this giant interconnected web. It's not just a car. It's the manufacturing, it's the AI brains, it's the supercharger network, the solar panels, the home batteries. Everything is designed to feed into everything else. It's one big loop.
And check this out. While everyone was focused on the struggling car sales, these other parts of the ecosystem were absolutely crushing it. The energy business, it just set a record for the 12th quarter in a row. And their services division saw profits leap up by 64% in just 3 months. A big reason for that is they're now letting other brands use their superchargers. So yeah,
These are the positive stories that are kind of getting buried.
All right, so with this huge pivot to AI, what should we actually be watching for? What are the next big things on the horizon? Well, Tesla has given us a pretty clear roadmap of what to expect.
Okay, there are really 3 huge milestones to keep an eye on. Number 1, they're finally launching a more affordable model. They say initial production starts in the first half of 2025. Number 2, the Cybercab. This is their purpose-built Robotaxi, and it's supposed to hit volume production in 2026. And number 3, they need to actually expand that Robotaxi network beyond just Austin. These are the big promises they've made, so this is what we can hold them to.
And all of this brings us back to the biggest question of all. Honestly, it's the whole ball game. Tesla is basically in a high-stakes race against itself. They've put all their chips on a future powered by AI and software, but it's the old-school car business that's paying all the bills right now. So the real nail-biter is this. Can those future AI profits start rolling in before the profits from selling cars completely dry up? That right there is the billion-dollar question, and it's what we'll all be watching.